Once upon a time, in a land of green fields and distant mountains, lived a young boy. He wasn't a prince or a hero. He was a simple buffalo herder working for a landlord whose heart was as hard as stone. The boy's days were long and his meals were small, but he had a kind spirit. One sweltering afternoon, as the sun beat down on the fields, disaster struck. The buffalo he was tending, the landlord's prized possession, vanished. The boy searched everywhere, his heart pounding with fear. He called its name until his voice was hoarse, but the field remained empty. When he returned to the landlord empty-handed, the man's face twisted with rage. "You will pay for it," he roared, his voice echoing in the boy's ears. But how could he? He didn't have a single coin to his name. Desperate and heartbroken, the boy wandered back to the empty pasture and collapsed onto the grass. He closed his eyes, thinking his life was over. As he lay there, motionless, a shadow fell over him. A large crow, seeing the still figure, thought it had found an easy meal. It swooped down, ready to peck. But in a flash, the boy's hand shot out and grabbed the crow's leg. "Aha! You thought you'd eat me, did you?" the boy said, his voice trembling with a mix of fear and anger. "Well, I think I'll eat you first." The crow, caught and terrified, began to squawk and plead. "Please, kind boy, let me go. My little chicks are waiting in the nest, hungry and alone. They have no one else." Hearing this, the boy's anger melted away. He saw his own loneliness reflected in the crow's desperate plea. He understood the pain of being helpless. His grip softened, and he opened his hand. "Go on," he whispered. "Go back to your family." The crow, stunned by his kindness, didn't just fly away. It paused, looked the boy in the eye, and opened its beak. Out dropped a single, luminous pearl that glowed with an otherworldly light. "This is a wishing pearl," the crow cawed. "As a thank you for your compassion, it is now yours. Whatever you wish for, it will grant," and with a final nod, it soared into the sky. The boy stared at the pearl, half disbelieving. Could it be true? With nothing left to lose, he clutched it tight and whispered, "I wish for a strong, healthy buffalo to return to my master." In the blink of an eye, a magnificent buffalo appeared before him, chewing contentedly on a blade of grass. Overjoyed, the boy led the buffalo back to the stunned landlord, declared he was quitting, and walked away a free man. Now, the real magic began. Standing in an empty field, he held the pearl and wished for a beautiful, sturdy house with a garden full of flowers. Instantly, it rose from the ground, complete with a warm hearth and a soft bed. But he was lonely. "I wish," he said softly, "for a kind and beautiful wife to share this life with me." Before long, a lovely young woman from a nearby village heard of the kind man in the magical house. They met, fell in love, and were soon married. For a time, their life was perfect. The pearl gave them everything they needed: delicious food, fine clothes, and endless happiness. They wanted for nothing. But a shadow was growing in their perfect home. The boy's wife, while lovely, had a greedy heart. She loved her new life, but she couldn't stand that her own family was still poor. She wanted them to have the same riches she enjoyed. She saw the pearl not as a gift, but as a tool for endless wealth. One day, while her husband was away visiting the market, she crept into the room where he kept the pearl hidden. Her hands trembled as she snatched it from its silk pouch. Without a second thought, she gathered her things and fled back to her parents' house, the source of all their happiness now clutched in her greedy hand. When the boy returned home, he found the house strangely silent. His wife was gone. He searched frantically, his calls echoing through the empty rooms. Then he noticed the open pouch. The pearlet was gone too. The truth hit him like a physical blow. He sank to the floor, his dream life shattered, and wept with a sorrow so deep it shook the very foundations of his magical house. As his tears soaked the wooden floor, a gentle golden light filled the room. The kind Buddha appeared before him, his expression full of compassion. "Why do you cry, my son?" he asked in a voice that was both ancient and soothing. Through his sobs, the boy told him everything: the crow, the pearl, the love, and the betrayal. Buddha listened patiently. When the story was finished, he comforted the boy. "Do not despair," he said. "Greed creates its own punishment." He then held out his hand. In his palm lay two flowers, one a pristine white, the other a vibrant, fiery red. "Take these," Buddha instructed. "Plant the white flower in front of your wife's family home. Strange things will happen. When they beg for your help, use this red flower to set things right." And then, as quickly as he appeared, he was gone. With newfound purpose, the boy traveled to his wife's village. Under the cloak of night, he crept to her parents' house and planted the white flower right by their front door. He then retreated to a safe distance and watched. As the morning sun touched the petals, the white flower opened, releasing a sweet, irresistible fragrance that drifted into the house. One by one, his wife and her family were drawn outside, curious about the heavenly scent. They leaned in, taking deep breaths of the wonderful aroma. But then, something bizarre began to happen. The wife's nose started to tingle. Then her mother's, then her father's. Their noses began to grow, stretching and elongating, twisting and turning like elephant trunks. Panic erupted as they stumbled around, tripping over their own grotesquely long noses. News of the family with elephant noses spread like wildfire. They became a spectacle of shame and ridicule, hiding inside their home, unable to eat or even walk properly. Finally, humbled and desperate, the father-in-law sought out the boy. "My son," he cried, his enormous nose wobbling as he bowed. "What have we done to deserve this curse? Please, have mercy on us." The boy looked at him calmly and replied, "This happened because your daughter stole my wishing pearl, the very source of our happiness." The father, realizing the truth in his words, rushed back inside. He returned moments later, holding the glowing pearl and pushing his shamed daughter forward. He placed the pearl back in the boy's hand and begged for forgiveness. Seeing their genuine remorse, the boy knew it was time. He took out the red flower. He held it up for each of them to smell. As the rich, earthy scent of the red flower filled their lungs, a miracle occurred. Their noses began to shrink, retracting back to their normal size, as if nothing had ever happened. Relief washed over the family, replaced by a profound sense of gratitude and humility. The wife, her face stained with tears, fell to her knees and apologized to her husband. She had learned a hard lesson about greed. He forgave her, and together they returned to their magical house. From that day on, they used the pearl not for greed, but for good, helping others and living a life full of genuine joy and contentment. Their love, now tested and true, blossomed, and they raised many wonderful children, telling them the story of the grateful crow, the magical pearl, and the two flowers that taught them the true meaning of happiness. And that's the power of kindness and forgiveness. It's a magic more powerful than any wishing pearl. Thank you so much for watching this story with us today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell so you never miss another adventure. We'll see you in the next video.